And then that's another thing, man. It's like just making sure that all of those logistics are worked out so that you don't have the headache of trying to clean up a mess right before launch.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's interesting, bro. It's these are things I look at when I see like these young artists really putting out their music. Now, this is stuff like, and that's another thing. A lot of these artists are homegrown. They making music, and it's on the same type of setup I got, same type of setup you got, same type of setup Tony got. They're not going to big studios to do anything but to maybe like refine it. You know what I'm saying? They might go to a big studio to have it mixed and mastered, or they might just ship all the files off through a Google Drive to an engineer, to they key engineer, or the engineer that the label wants them to use to have it mixed and mastered, because that person is already under contract, so they got to pay big budget dollars just to get that person paid. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of what happens too. Like
it's amazing. It's amazing how they went from the big reels and the DAT tapes and everything to now just
ship them through FedEx and shit.
Yeah, to now everything just being a file that you could just send in minutes, seconds, and everything is there.
Facts.
Are you able to tell the difference between? And I'm only asking because you work more on the B side. Are you able to tell the difference between the analog and digital aspect of music? Okay.
Absolutely. But we're also, I had this conversation years ago when it was really happening, like when CDs was really like the go-to format. Niggas weren't really making tapes and LPs like that no more. And conversations I used to have was like how much fidelity loss was happening with CDs, because it was becoming more crisp, but the low end wasn't really there no more. You weren't getting a lot of heavy bass and shit like that. And now we're in the digital format where, remember when MP3s came out, I remember like seeing these little videos where they were showing like what the image loss on a WAV file looks like versus what a WAV file should look like. We're in the age now where nobody cares about that no more. You know what I'm saying? It was like all of those losses are just losses, and it's like the file is just the file. All they want is clarity now, and a lot of times they don't even want clarity. You can hear motherfuckers drinking a fucking Pepsi in the booth. You can hear, you know what I'm saying, motherfucker hitting a cigarette in the booth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could hear like a little hum come off of one of the wires and shit like that. Like, don't nobody care about that, because the average listener, the average consumer is not even living with the music no more. They just like it. They like it for a moment, then they move on. Like Future.
I used to like hearing all that shit. I used to like hearing all that, like tuning into music, hearing DMX, or you can hear Jay-Z chains in the background. You know, when they moving and everything, you can hear all that shit. Or like when Method Man would take a breath during the course of him rhyming. Like I love hearing all that shit. You know,
right? Because it showed the human side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are things that people, I don't know. I know other people, like I know you definitely hear it, but those are things that when I'm listening to music, people ask me like, why do you got to be listening hard as hell to be hearing it? And it's like, I don't have to listen hard,
but you just know what to listen for.
Yeah, as a guy who loves music and comes from a church background where you're around choirs and you're around people who are recording since you were young. You hear all this shit in music. So when it's being recorded, I can hear people getting their throat together, or right when after the chorus is about to go out, I can hear the dude take a deep breath, and I know he about to come in and rhyme. Like I know.
Shit. I'm trying to remember what that Michael Jackson song is. I think it was Beat It. Yeah, it was Beat It, because dude played the stems and shit like that. He stripped all the stems down, and you could hear all the little shit Michael Jackson had going on in the booth. You know what I'm saying? He had the one headphone, and that's a no-no in the booth, but artists do it all the time because the sound plays out the other fucking speaker on the headset. And Michael Jackson, you could hear the music playing out of his headphones and his chain hitting the microphone and shit like that. And he going hard, but they never made him do those takes over. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of takes that got done over.
I bet.
But when they recorded them sessions and they started adding them layers of instruments and stuff like that, it was a keeper. Like if you listen to the original song, you probably wouldn't even know where some of those elements.
Not at all.
But if you heard the stems, you're like, holy shit. Like, that shit sound like he did it he recorded that shit in the garage.
Right. Like
You know
he,
what I'm
like they
saying?
did, like they were doing closet recordings and shit.
Yeah, or in a bathroom or some shit.
Yeah, throw the blanket over the thing.
Facts.
Yeah, but that's crazy. Now, whoever that was, man, I wonder how they. I asked you before in another episode. I wonder how they came across that. You got to be
He,
involved.
I think, because I know he's a sound engineer,
Okay.
and I know that when Michael Jackson's music went public, certain people was able to buy up some of the stems and stuff like that to do re-releases and remasters. Because I know, have you heard the Millennium remaster of Thriller? Because
No.
Kanye did a beat on there. It was I think Lil Jon got something on there. It sound crazy as hell, bro. It don't sound bad. It's just weird.
Okay. I haven't heard that. I'm about to check it out. The Millennium. You got to send me a link to that.
Yeah, I stumbled on it listening to it. I listened to Thriller on Spotify one day, and I didn't realize that I clicked on like the deluxe. So it played the entire album, and then it went from that straight into the Millennium version of it.